It's time for TWiT This Week in Tech. Becky, Worley, and John C. Dvorak join me to talk about Eric Schmidt's revelations, the news about Windows 8, and Groupon. Is it really worth $20 billion? It's all next on TWiT.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Audio bandwidth for This Week in Tech is provided by Winamp for Android, the ultimate media player for your desktop and Android device, featuring wireless sync. Download it free at winamp.com/Android. Video bandwidth for TWiT is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com. This is TWiT, This Week in Tech, episode 304, recorded June 5th, 2011. In Becky's pants. This Week in Tech is brought to you by Go to My PC. Accessing files on your work computer while at home or traveling is a hassle, but there's an easier way with Go to My PC. For your free 30-day trial, visit gotomypc.com, click the Try It Free button, and enter the offer code TWiT. And by Audible.com. Sign up for the Platinum plan and get 2 free books. Go to audible.com/TWiT2. Don't forget to follow Audible on Twitter. User ID audible_com. And by Squarespace.com, the fast and easy way to create a high-quality website or blog. For a free 14-day trial, go to squarespace.com/TWiT. And be sure to check out their annual plan for savings of up to 20% off. It's time for TWiT. What a way to begin the show. Leo Laporte here, and it's going to be fun because it's old friends. And whenever TWiT is old friends, you know, it gets a little silly and quazy. Becky Worley's back. It's nice to see you, dear.
Glad to be with you.
From Good Morning America and BeckyWorley.com. She is in charge of snake repellent.
That's me. If you have snakes that need repelled, I'm the girl for the job.
And I guess we should disclose that thanks to you, I'm wearing caffeinated pants today.
Another product I tested this week, and I needed the expert opinion of one Leo Laporte.
My butt's tingling.
Well, we're going to find out by the end of the show.
Yes, we will. Also joining us today, Mr. John C. Dvorak at channeldvorak.com. Hey, John.
Hey, Leo.
Hi.
Hey. You getting all jacked up on those caffeinated pants?
I am. You know, people probably think that's crazy. They can't have caffeinated pants.
They're real. They've sold 3.5 million pairs of them in France.
Oh, that explains it.
Oh, yeah.
So you're saying I see London, I see France, I see Leo's caffeinated pants.
That's right. I mean, they're your people.
It's not just caffeinated. It's impregnated as well.
Oh, the shea butter is I don't know if impregnated in pants is any kind of that could start a bad internet
phrase,
rumor.
But they're like Spanx for men.
Yeah. How do you like that? Be thankful you're listening
Yeah,
and not watching.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Yeah.
We're losing listenership as we speak.
Yeah. So John just came back from a Ford event at AT&T Park, the Giants Stadium, on talking cars.
Yeah, well, it was interesting in regards to the fact that Ford has got I don't know, I think they've gone a little crazy with this futuristic stuff, but this is it'll probably a lot of the fallout from it will be handy. But these are talking cars. But you know, every time I mention to somebody, it's like these are cars that talk to you. These are cars that talk to each other. They talk to the highway.
That's good.
They talk to the police department. They do all these things.
I don't want a chatty car. That's like Knight Rider. That's always talking to me.
Remember a few years ago they had that. There was a I think
your
Toyota,
door is ajar,
and people hated it.
Yeah. This is not that.
Your door is open.
Yeah. This is the car. This is a car that communicates.
So it's a communicating car, and it talks to all kinds. So, like, for example, in a perfect world where everything was tuned to these cars, the car would be driving along, and there'd be another talking car in front of it, and the car in front of it would talk. You wouldn't know this. You'd fall asleep at the wheel, and your car would talk to the other car and say, "Hang on, because I'm going to hit you." Or
that's great. That's handy.
It would slam on the brakes and stop you from hitting the guy.
See, I see what's going on here, which is Ford wants to make autonomous vehicles or move a step towards it, but they don't want to say autonomous vehicles.
No, they don't.
They would have called it smart cars a few years ago, but smart's so lame now, nobody would call it that.
Right.
No, they made a point that they don't want autonomous cars. They say that the driving experience is important, and people don't really want autonomous cars. They want everything handled, but they still want a driver behind the wheel.
Well, I think, people aren't yet comfortable with the notion that a car would be driving itself.
Well, I'll tell you, I rode in that Google car that drove itself.
Did you ride in that, the self-driving car?
Not only did I ride in it, I also stepped in front of it in a crosswalk with only 20 feet to go.
You got to talk to George Stephanopoulos, because this guy, he just keeps putting you in danger.
Between the snakes and the pants and this robotic car.
They will do anything for ratings.
But I'm telling you
the person? You're the red shirt person on GMA.
Yeah,
she's expendable.
She's the one on Star Trek, where
right?
They,
the red shirt guy
always dies.
Yeah, it's like, well, let Becky try it.
Pretty much. No.
Anyway, so the debate
it was amazing,
began.
though. It really worked. It was
The
incredible.
It stopped before it hit you.
It did,
as
obviously.
testament to that, you're here.
But I wouldn't, just to finish the thought, sorry, John, I wouldn't be comfortable having a self-driving car. But where I really saw its functionality is in situations as John's describing where people fall asleep or you look away to text.
Right.
And it's got your back. If it's only for 5 seconds, I'm not saying that condones texting, but people do it.
Right.
Or look at the GPS or something.
Right.
So sorry, John, go ahead.
The problem is,
will it
is
do
that
like my wife does and say, hey, there's a hottie at 12 o'clock?
Engage auto drive so I can rubberneck. Woof whistle auto drive.
Go ahead,
The
John.
problem is they say that their infrastructure is nowhere to be found because they need smart highways, and this is never going to happen.
Right. Right, because they're not just talking to other cars. They need to talk to the highway because they need to know where the road is and
But
all that.
that's not what Google says.
Google doesn't.
The only
says
thing
they
that's
don't
gonna
need
come-
it. They
the only
can
thing
do it
that's
off
gonna come out
existing
of this-
material. Sorry, John.
The only thing that's going to come out of this is they're going to have black boxes in all the cars. And once a year, when you get your car smogged in California, you're going to bring your black box in. They're going to look at it, and you're going to get 15 retroactive tickets from local police departments. That is exactly what's going to happen. They don't want to talk about that.
I think you're right, because we've already got red light cameras. This is just the logical next step. Oh, you ran a red light on July 15th. Oh, you were going over the speed limit on July 23rd.
Yeah,
I could see that
conspiracy
happening.
theorists.
Yeah, he's been talking to
It's not a conspiracy.
Adam
They're already
Curry.
talking about this being implemented by police departments around the country.
You know
Listen,
what I don't-
insurance agencies,
That
yes.
would worry me more.
Lawyers, absolutely.
Yeah.
They'll subpoena that information in a heartbeat.
If the information exists, it will be subpoenaed.
Yeah.
We'll see whether you get retroactive
With everybody,
tickets.
with all these municipalities running out of money, they're looking for any sort of revenue stream, and this is a beauty.
Gauchum in the chat room has a great name for it. The new Ford Tattler. Download your driving record. You know, that's interesting. So you say they're already talking. Who's they? Who's already talking about?
If you start reading police blogs and municipal blogs, there's a discussion about black boxes. It's all over the place.
Has it been on Law and Order? If it hasn't been on
Most
Law
cars
and
have
Order,
had a
it's not
black
close.
box in them since 2006.
All of these cars have the little plug-in things that can tell you a lot about what's been going on. It can record, if they recorded, would record speeds and so forth. But they'd also have they need to have a GPS built in so they'd know, they could match the coordinates and so. I don't know.
Have you also seen these cameras for teenagers?
Yeah.
So that the ones where they cache a certain amount of data,
Right.
and if there's
Cabbies
any,
have had these for years.
Yeah, if there's any incidents, then that's
Right.
automatically stored into memory. But I mean,
You know what'll happen? You'll get a discount on your insurance if you agree to have it.
yeah,
Maybe something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Boy, I'd hate to see a municipality doing that.
yeah.
You know what? I don't think they will, John, because it crosses state lines and city lines, and they'd have to say, "Oh, we're only going to look at our city," and I don't know if that can happen.
The chat room is chastising me because
I
Law and
don't
Order
see
has been
that as a
canceled
problem.
long ago.
It's one of the first things I'd implement if I was a mayor.
That's why we
Hey,
have not
broke the
elected.
law. What's the argument? What's the beef?
We're not going to elect you, John. Right
It's going
there.
to save a lot of police money because you don't have all these guys patrolling with radar guns anymore. You don't have to. And you just bring these people in once a year and you get your tickets. It's not, I don't see it. And it saves money on those cameras. It saves money. It saves so much money and makes money. It's just a bonanza. It's so obvious.
It's a Law and Order bonanza. The Ford snitch.
Bonanza.
D8 happened this week. Actually, D9.
D9.
One better. That's the All Things Digital Conference. We actually we asked Kara Swisher to come in. I think she was very busy. We'll get her on a future show. But they did a great job, a great panel, including Google's Eric Schmidt.
The Schmidt?
The Schmidt, who was very presidential.
He was so mellow compared to his other wonky appearances where he said at least one complete wanger of a statement, but he was controlled.
The scuttlebutt is he wants to run for prez.
Oh,
he didn't get
Lord.
the commerce job. That would have been a stepping stone, at least some service. Here's Kara Swisher just asked him, what did he do wrong as CEO of Google?
Well, when we talk about the identity discussion we have about Facebook, when I went back and looked 4 years ago, I wrote memos which talked in general terms about this. I did nothing about the memos I wrote. 3 years ago, I wrote memos that talked about this general problem.
What's the problem
The
he's talking
Facebook,
about?
the identity problem online, that people don't have a way to create a personal identity, and that Facebook has done that by basically giving people
Stealing a march on Google.
Right.
So I would say that's probably the thing that I clearly knew that I had to do something, and I failed to do it.
And why was that?
I think I was busy.
But didn't you guys?
At least he didn't say I was drunk, because that's what I always say.
That's one thing. He basically owned up to the fact that he calls it the identity problem. And he says, and I'm quoting here, Facebook, it's the first generally available way of disambiguating identity on the internet.
Okay. So, and Twitter has that too. So you're at Becky Worley. You're the only one and only at Becky Worley.
B. Worley.
Or B. Worley.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's important.
Yeah.
BWORLEY. You're John. You're the real Dvorak.
Yep.
I'm at Leo Laporte. So Twitter has that.
Right.
Facebook kind of, but not really has it because
I have a fake John Dvorak on Facebook.
What is that? Facebook.com/fake John Dvorak?
No, it's just John. It says me. It claims to be me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a Leo Laporte. That's part of the problem is that there are many people with the same name. I mean, Dvorak maybe is not so common. Well, actually.
Yeah, but no, this claims to be me.
Right. Well, hey, look, this is even worse. Here's John Laporte. So that's kind of, and he looks just
kind of a mashup.
Looks like our love child. No, I'm sorry. I searched for the wrong name. So I should search for John Dvorak.
Yeah, but I mean,
no, and this is which one is you? John, is that
I don't
you,
know.
John?
I never use Facebook. There it is.
That's
the
not
phony
you?
John Dvorak. No, I don't have a Facebook account. How could it be me?
Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to like it anyway.
But see, the point is that
There's a bunch
like
of
you,
people that
John.
complain. I put you on. You don't have an account. No, that's not me.
Sure, he's just making this up to get people to
But that's
like
why
it.
I don't think Facebook has won this one. For instance, if I type facebook.com/Leo Laporte, it's not me.
But this is one of those
Actually,
places
it is
where
me,
we
but-
may not be
It's you.
It is me. Never mind.
our situation may not be germane to the average Joe, because for the average Joe, creating an identity online is not an identity for a public face. It's an identity in their community.
Yeah, but I think eventually, don't you want to have a unique identifier on the net? It may not be John Smith if your name is John Smith. It might be something else. But don't you? I mean, chat handles, for instance, are kind of considered unique. It's kind of bad form to copy somebody's chat handle. Don't you think ultimately, just as we have a unique phone number, we'll want some sort of unique identity on the net? I think that was the fear, is that Facebook was going to steal this or Twitter was going to steal this, and Google. That's why they created Google profiles. They kind of, but they don't have a competitor. They don't have a competitive product.
That hasn't gone anywhere.
No. I thought it might.
I don't think there's anything unifying or ubiquitous that's made any kind of a play for this except Facebook.
Yeah.
And Google did have an opportunity, and they blew it. And that was what Schmidt was owning up to, is that they had the opportunity.
I think he's overstating the case. I don't think
I
they had the
agree with
opportunity.
you, Leo.
I don't think they actually had the
They didn't
opportunity.
blow anything. They couldn't do it.
And that was Mossberg's follow-up. He said, well, you tried. It wasn't that you were busy. It was that you failed.
Yeah. It wasn't that I was busy. I sucked.
Yeah. And good for Walt for following up
I
that
think
way.
he's right.
Yeah.
I don't think they missed a. And you know what? 3 years ago, did you think of Google as a source of identity or a search engine? They're a search engine. They still are a search engine.
He also talked a lot about this gang of four.
Well, that was interesting because he left out Microsoft, and I think there were a lot of people in Redmond who were upset. He said the people that power technology today are Apple, Google, Facebook, and Amazon.
Yep.
Would you disagree?
No. I think his point was they are the four broadest consumer brands that have gone to a global level.
Right.
And while Microsoft may be a very powerful tech brand, they have lost their cachet as a consumer brand.
Well, he did admit they're a good enterprise brand. He just said they're not a consumer. You agree, John?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah. I think, in fact, it scares me a little bit. If you look at how successful, particularly Facebook and Amazon are, it's a little scary. I don't want them to be this successful.
2 more things he said. Use a Mac for security.
Yeah.
If you care about security,
Apparently
use a
was
Mac.
wrong on that one. But
Yeah.
Those days are over.
Yeah. No kidding.
You buying that? I mean, don't you guys remember Mac.Simpsons.do? Remember that virus way back then?
The first viruses I ever experienced were Mac viruses,
Yeah.
but that was OS 9. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the point. Is like, so we've seen some malware, but does that mean that the party's over?
I think the party's over. And you know why I think it's a numbers, in my opinion, it's a numbers game. There was a good article on the unofficial Apple weblog. I can't remember the guy's name, but he says it's purely a numbers game because Apple has now gotten to the point where they're about 17% market share of all computers. Because so many Windows users have become so security conscious, it's about 80% of Windows users are protected by antiviruses. So the 20% of Windows users that are unprotected, 17% Mac users unaffected, it's about the same number. In other words, the Macintosh platform represents a good opportunity now.
Yeah, and it's easy pickings.
And it is, because these people are, and I include myself, completely unsecurity conscious.
Yeah, living in a fantasy land. Also, I think that it's a self-selecting, more affluent community because the computers are more expensive.
Think about that. If you can hit the Mac people, don't you want to? Although I keep saying, and I keep waiting for the real gold. Yeah. The pot of gold is in the cell phone and iPhone. The minute you can figure out a way to get on somebody's iPhone, you've made it.
Golden.
Everything's on it. Was it you, John, who was telling me that there's a market in New York City for taxi cabs for lost phones? The taxi drivers know exactly where to go to sell. You drive up, and the guy in the corner give you $100, and they give you more money if you've popped the battery. And so what they're not looking for the phone, they're looking for the data on the phone. So if you've popped the battery, the person who lost the phone can't erase it or deactivate it. So now the bad guy has the phone, and it's loaded with personal information, contact lists, all sorts of stuff, credit card numbers. So there is already a market for the hardware. I think it's just a matter of time before people start hacking the cell phones.
One last thing on Schmidt, and then I'll shut up about Schmidt.
No, I like Schmidt.
When pressed on which was the third mobile OS, obviously Android,
iPhone and
iOS,
Android,
he would not answer.
He doesn't want to say Windows, and he doesn't want to say BlackBerry.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't know.
He doesn't want to say pre. Or whatever
WebOS
it is. WebOS.
Yeah, I mean, that was interesting to me that he was so cagey.
You don't think HP can pull it off?
No.
And who was it from HP who said that they would license WebOS? Did you hear that?
Did Apotheker say they'd license WebOS?
Yeah, to HTC. It was a hypothetical question from Josh Topolsky, but I thought that
is interesting.
Yeah, and he didn't want it. Was sort of an SE grin when he said it, but he said it.
I think if Microsoft does end up buying Nokia, and apparently that's been something that's been around for a while, it's always been an option for Microsoft. If they end up buying Nokia, and with the way Nokia's stock price is tumbling and the trouble that Nokia's been having, I think this could very well happen. Then that's a pretty credible third platform. You kind of you forget WebOS. You probably can forget BlackBerry too. I mean, there's still BlackBerry adherents out there.
No, they can't do both. It's going to cost them $20 billion for either They're both about the same price right now. $20 billion for either RIM or Nokia. They cannot afford a $40 billion deal.
Who would you buy? Which would you buy? If you can't buy both, you'd buy Nokia.
Yeah, because
not so much for the U.S., but you buy them for international.
Yeah, and you buy them because you need a hardware play, obviously. But now, if you want to buy them for like kind of changing direction again, because there's still people addicted to the RIM BlackBerry. I mean, I still see people say to me, I have to use this.
You know where they use it a lot now? In high schools. You wouldn't think kids would use it, but kids love BlackBerry Messenger. I see lots of kids typing away on their BlackBerries.
It's less expensive. It's the next step from the Sidekick. Basically, when Sidekick has started to go away, BlackBerry is the next thing. And I also think this is a West Coast bias.
And who ruined Sidekick, by the way? Who killed that?
Yeah,
Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if your data was on Sidekick servers, they turned it off this week. So
I know.
Say goodbye.
I know.
And then, of course, there's the Microsoft kin.
Well.
There's always that. We're going to talk more about D9 because the other, they dominated the news this week. The other big announcement, Steven Sinofsky from Microsoft showing off Windows 8. Is this going to save Microsoft? Let's talk about it in just a moment. Becky Worley is here from Good Morning America. I tried to hire her for TWiT, but
I love you, man.
No, she loves us, but she
love
doesn't. She loves the money more. She loves the money. That's all right. That's all right. Wait till the new studio's going, and you might want to visit more.
I love my people.
No, we love Becky. And steak's done. I don't know. What is that timer? Is that just to say hi? Oh, look,
No,
he's got
it's
a little
tap bell. I've decided that everyone should have one of these tap bells.
I agree.
For their desk at work.
Nice.
And
so somebody, you're busy, you're hunched over the computer, you got this thing on your desk,
bing.
and somebody wants to talk to you.
That's a good idea. My kids would like me to have one at the dinner table because I'm always got my nose buried in a device. They could bing my bell.
You can ding Dad's bell. You can ding Dad's
my bell.
Ding Dad's bell.
With apologies to Anita Bell. What is her name? Anita
Baker?
Baker. Anita.
Anita.
Need a Hot Pocket? Let's, John C. Dvorak's also here from channelDvorak.com, but right now I'd like to talk a little bit about, no, not the brick TWiT house. Oh, well, we could mention that we have bricks for sale. Fine bricks, only $128. You don't get them, we get them. It's kind of a strange thing. You help us build a new studio. Bricks.twit.t. I did not mention that last week.
Be a part of TWiT.
Be a part of the TWiT brick house. Or the brick TWiT house, depending on how profane you want to be. Mm-hmm. These are the bricks, $128. Now, they're going to go on a wall right in the entryway there. So you can come visit your brick. You have 15 characters, 2 lines, 15 characters each. That's the $128 brick. If you want that's the 8x4. If you want the 8x8 square brick, that's $512. There's even one you can get your logo, your company logo on that. These are very limited. I think there's only a couple hundred of those available.
I love the patina on the brick.
Isn't that
really
nice?
Cool.
Yeah. These are pretty. And we have international sales, but you have to call the number, unfortunately. Bricks.twit.tv, it's all there. And finally, if you want, and John, we're going to send you one of these because I know how much you love bricks.
I love bricks.
You want a commemorative brick that matches the brick that's in the brick TWiT house. You could have that on it makes a fine paperweight. It weighs about 12 pounds.
It makes a good weapon.
Yeah. If you don't like somebody, throw it through the window, but don't throw the one that has your name and address on it. Anyway, bricks.twit.tv. It's helping us build the TWiT brick house. It turned out to be a little bit more expensive for the studio than we had anticipated. So this is our way of letting you participate. No, it is not tax deductible. We're not a charity or a nonprofit. We're just not making any money. Bricks.twit.tv. But now, that's enough of that. Let's talk about Go to My PC. One of our fine sponsors, Citrix, has been with us since almost the beginning. They've really been a great sponsor, and they make great products, so we're very happy to do these ads for Citrix. Go to My PC is the kind of the king of the remote access programs from Citrix. Citrix is very well known for Citrix Enterprise. That's probably the best known, the best Windows remote access server. A lot of companies use it. Go to My PC is kind of the consumer version of it. And here's the nice thing. You don't really need to get the IT department involved. You just visit gotomypc.com, click the Try It Free button, and use the offer code TWiT, and you're set. It'll take about 30 seconds to download and install, and you just leave it there. Now, anytime, you'll set up an account, of course, so anytime you want to access your computer at work, you just go to gotomypc.com, you log in to your Go to My PC account, and now you have secure access to your computer at work. Now, you can do that on a Mac or a PC at work. You can access it from a Mac or PC or even from an iPad. They've got a great free iPad app. That is very sweet, to be able to access Office email, send and receive email, run any program, access network resources, all on the road from the iPad. Very, very cool. Try it free for 30 days. You'll see what I mean. GOTOMYPC. Go to mypc.com. Click the Try It Free button right here and enter the offer code TWIT. That's all we ask. And we thank Citrix so much for their support of This Week in Tech. So, I have to ask you both. I think John is a Windows user. Are you a Windows user, Becky?
No, I'm predominantly a Mac user, but we have Windows machines at home. I try and stay fluent on both.
Me too.
I think it's important in our jobs.
John, you mostly Windows, right?
Yeah.
So here,
mostly Windows.
Did you look with interest? If you go to Microsoft.com/PressPass, there's a lot of video of Steven Sinofsky at the D8 conference and then of somebody at the Computex conference in Taiwan demonstrating the new user interface. It looks like Windows Phone.
It's so weird.
I don't like it. I think I wrote a column about it. I think it's in PC Magazine. I think it's a disaster if they implement it.
Well, I'm sure they are. Clearly,
Aren't we on cycle for disaster? What does it go? 98 disaster,
Emmy,
98 good,
Emmy was
bad.
disaster. Windows XP good. Windows Vista disaster.
Bad.
Windows 7
good.
So this would be
is
disaster time.
That's what I'm pretty sure.
So we're right on track.
Yeah.
It's like in the Star Trek movies.
That's what I'm saying.
Why don't you like it, John?
Well, I think for one thing, I don't think that the model. I think it's a done deal. What a desktop computer should be like, how it should be used. That interface that we're talking about that they're trying to replace it with is for small screens. It's the reason it's designed. There's a reason it was designed the way it was designed. The reason that Steve Jobs brought it into play is because it was the thing you could use with your finger and a touch screen and a small touch screen, and you needed to you need these icons to move around. There's a rationale for it. There's no rationale for this stupid interface to be on a large 21-inch, 27-inch screen. It's crazy.
So we're talking about, just for people who haven't seen it or are listening, we're talking about the Metro UI that's on the Windows Phone 7. It has the large tiles that each represent sort of a concept or, like social or contacts or phone. But this would have specific, it's almost like they're trying to create almost like an expose interface, but for Windows, and marrying it with the Metro UI that we've gotten to know on the phone.
It's a touch interface.
Exactly.
Now, here's what my theory is. My theory is that Microsoft has had nothing but difficulty adapting its operating system to the phone. And what they've always tried to do since the very beginning before Windows Phone, when they had their first smartphones, is they took the big Windows interface from a desktop and put it on the phone. So now instead of separating these two as separate items, as separate things, they keep wanting to have them all the same, because I think they figure that all their users are complete idiots and they can't go from one model to another. So they're going to take the phone model that they know works on small screens and move it to the desktop. Now, I think they can save themselves by having a little button you can push that would throw you back to a reel.
They do. That's what's so strange about this, is it really is just a shell.
It's a skin
on top of what looks like Windows 7.
Look at it.
Yeah.
You have a picture of it up on this video. It looks dumb.
Yeah.
This is the default that will show up on all computers that ship with this, and you have to revert back to the Windows 7
It looks like
UI.
a kiosk kind of thing you find at a kiosk at Macy's.
Well, all right. I see, and there's the start menu. So he slides it over in there on the right, and you can just jump underneath it. And so when you have Microsoft Excel or Office or whatever, and you need to have that kind of, let's face it, real Windows control, you can get there. But let me play devil's advocate here. One of the things that the iPad really proved to everybody is that there is a market for a simpler computing experience.
The iPad requires a touch screen interface that requires your finger or thumb or something like that to move things around. This is not what desktop computing is about. This even has a pop-up keyboard, which is idiotic. I have a real keyboard.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Why do I need this bull crap?
Well, I guess this is one UI for all devices. So if you've got a tablet.
That's the problem. They have their heads up their butts with this one UI for everything they do notion. They're crazy.
Yeah.
I kind of feel
I
bad
made
for
myself
Microsoft.
clear.
God, Dvorak. I miss you, man. That kind of, there's so many bad things going on in the world, but that this pisses you off so much. It's so comforting to me.
I'm mad about other stuff too.
I'm still trying to play devil's advocate here.
I think it's a great tablet UI.
It's a tablet. It's a tablet
really
UI.
Good tablet UI. But why try and put this?
How do the
onto a
HP
PC?
Touch Smarts sell? Because that's a touch desktop with it's using Windows Vista or Windows 7. Look at this; they're very proud of this. That's got a split keyboard so you can type with your thumbs.
I don't think that they've been setting the world on fire, and I still go back.
Now, see, you've got Excel. Now, so you have a normal experience, a Windows experience underneath, but you can slide it to get Tweetorama. See, there's the Explorer.
This is great for that ubiquitous kitchen computer that every PC maker
And that's
wants
the Touch
to sell.
Smart. And
Right,
that's
the
the
Touch
Touch
Smart, right? So that you can treat it like a tablet, but then you can move into a multitasking. You have more detailed input-output with a keyboard and a mouse, et cetera, et cetera. But
what if we're just old farts who just want things to stay the same?
No, that's not it, Leo. The desktop metaphor, which was developed in 1980-something, 1984, I guess, mainly, or 82, or actually when the Xerox Star came out, established, and then it was tweaked and tweaked and tweaked. This is like the automobile. You can drive a 1935 car because it's been the model, how it works, where the gear
Hasn't
shifts are, where the
changed.
pedals
No,
are.
you're right.
It's finally established itself as this is the way it should be.
Right.
Why would you change it so radically out of the blue? This is like people dreaming up some crazy car where the wheels in the middle and you got
the
a
irony
periscope.
is that tomorrow on Monday, Apple will be talking about Lion, OS 10 Lion, its new operating system, and they're not even going this far. I mean, they have a full screen mode.
Because they're not stupid at Apple.
No, but this is Microsoft letting the pendulum swing too far in the other direction.
It sure looks like they're chasing Apple on this.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things. Can you imagine if you had a mouse and you were using your computer with a touchpad or a mouse? Do you scroll the icons up to take up 1/10 of the screen size?
That's kind of what would happen, right?
Yeah, no, everybody puts them in list or detail because that's how the brain works. So I agree with John in that respect. But it just feels like Microsoft is trying too hard. Also, you think about the skin that they did with Media Center. Nobody liked that. Nobody used that.
Right.
They all switched back.
Even, in fact, in the lean-back experience on a TV, it didn't do very well.
Right.
Apple's had this front row thing for a long time for media on all Macintoshes.
And so going back to the HP TouchSmart thing, I really agree with Steve Jobs here. From just an HCI perspective, I don't think touch works in vertical. It's a horizontal experience, and this mandates if you're going to
that's what Apple said. Steve Jobs said nobody's going to want to reach their arm out to touch the screen in front of them.
Well, actually, that was studied to death with the Gavelin computer back in the 1980s.
Right. I remember the Gavelin.
And they had a touch screen that used the pen, and they discovered that people were having all kinds of problems sticking their hand forward onto the screen, and then it was a nuisance. That's why the Wacom tablet, people sell so many Wacom tablets.
Well, and Apple's response to that is, well, don't worry, because you can use the mouse and keyboard, but then you're using the mouse and keyboard for an interface designed for touch, so it's. Oh, wait a minute. Now I'm not doing the devil's advocate anymore.
Well, but I can go back to that.
I'm agreeing with you.
A couple things. One, this would be a great tablet OS. I think it will be a great tablet OS. And I think Microsoft has this huge opportunity to finally do multitasking right. Nobody's done it right in tablets. Not RIM. Nobody's done it right yet.
In fact, in my opinion, I don't think you should multitask.
And that may be the thing.
If you're the only thing you need to multitask is music, Pandora, that kind of stuff that's in the background. I don't think you want a program to be running. It kills the battery. When you're on a full screen experience, whatever's full screen should be running, and anything else should be not running.
But I think when you're trying to use the iPad as a productivity tool, which I do all the time when I'm on a 6-hour flight, it's the only device I take with me.
Right.
Granted, I use it as a toy when I'm at home, but when I'm mobile, I use it as a tool. I would like to have a productivity mode where I would have better multitasking. And
so maybe this is it.
Maybe.
You slide it out of the way. You've got a Bluetooth keyboard. Suddenly you've got a computer.
And I can see this for tablet, but I'm not sure this is going to work for a standard PC OS.
Yeah.
Well, like some people in the chat room, and I've said it too, I said in the column, Microsoft will have a fallback. This will be an option, although it's going to be the default option, which is going to turn off a lot of people because, as we know, there's a number of people that buy these machines that are too, I don't hate to say it, but they're too stupid to know that they can change stuff.
They're too stupid to know they don't have to buy Windows.
Well, but
there's a lot of people who just buy Windows because that's what isn't...
But I take that ding back because I think a lot of people buy Windows because of the price point. I always go back to that.
But it's also the default. You have to talk somebody into buying something besides Windows. It's the default.
And just to do a little sidebar, what do you guys think about these Ultrabooks? Did you see those? Super thin?
Intel's announced these new, very lightweight MacBook Air clones. It seems like the entire world is chasing Apple at this point.
Seriously.
Difference would be that they're a fast processor, the i5 or i7 Ivy Bridge,
and they start in Sandy.
and better, better battery life.
Yeah.
Toshiba had these extremely lightweight machines although they cost a fortune, for years, and nobody ever gives them credit for that. And now,
they
of course,
were great.
Apple comes out with the Air, and now everyone's copying what looks like they're copying the Air. They're trying to make it look better.
Oh, but nothing looked like the Air.
No, but the new Asus looks pretty nasty.
I like that. Oh, I love that. And Lenovo's got the X1. Mm-hmm. There's some nice, very thin, very light computers. They're very expensive too.
The problem is they're too expensive. If you're gonna get, you might as well just get an Air.
Well, they're saying, in effect, that Intel's saying that they're going to get the price below $1,000.
Yeah.
This is Intel. To me, it's Intel.
$999.
Yeah, right. Just below. This is Intel responding, I think, to the challenge that ARM presents and the mobile platform. Intel just can't get into mobile computing. So they're trying to create more platforms for themselves instead of desktop and laptop. I'm just not excited about it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to get your sort of emotional read.
Yeah.
I also just wanted to follow back on the chat room. Cat Weasel in the chat room says, I don't think I've ever disagreed more strongly with the panel. Seriously, people have been screaming for innovation in UI since the earliest PCs because they don't make sense to regular non-tech users. So
that's kind of what I was trying to say.
Yeah, it's really difficult to figure out that a file folder has stuff in it, and if you double-click on something, it actually works. It runs a program. That is so hard.
But Cat Poo does make us. What's his name? Cat Lover.
Weasel.
Cat Weasel does make sense in one respect. And that's what I was kind of saying, which is, but maybe there's a whole class of computer users for whom the desktop is too complicated, but would like to have a computer. And I do commend Microsoft for at least trying, right?
Okay, but let's go back and look at the cycle. This is exactly what they've done. The good ones, starting 98. Too complicated. Let's make ME. It's for people who think it's too complicated.
Garbage.
Okay, so
Microsoft Bob,
Vista.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that this is that step down, this talk down that doesn't work out so great. But maybe this will be the one.
You know what it shows, and I am not an Apple fanboy. I think people know that by now, but it just shows the difference somehow, whatever that is, it's DNA or something, between what Apple somehow seems to get it and know where to use this stuff and where not to use it, and the other guys who copy Apple just don't seem to get it. Am I wrong there?
They're not copying it quite right.
They're just kind of not doing it. We'll see. You know, Windows 8 will come out next year, and you can all laugh at us. We'll save this particular segment. But, John, are you predicting a flopola?
Yeah, well, for the interface, I think it might be. It will be. It will be a great little interface for tablets. But for the desktop, nobody's going to use it. It looks like I said, it looks like a Macy's kiosk computer.
It's a kiosk. Who wants a kiosk
for
computer?
Idiots?
You're right. And I think Becky agrees.
Wow.
We're going to take a break. We have lots more to talk about. Apple's got the WWDC tomorrow. We're going to be covering that live starting at 9:45 Pacific, 12:45 Eastern at live.twit.tv. Alex Lindsay, Tom Merritt, a couple of Apple developers, including Aaron Hilligas of Big Nerd Ranch, will be in studio talking about that. At the same time, Microsoft's doing its Xbox conference at E3. I'm going down to E3 because we'll have coverage on Tuesday of E3. Too much stuff is happening all at once.
Great week.
But let's talk about, in just a second, iOS 5, OS 10 Lion, and finally, Apple, unheard of, has a press release saying, yes, Steve Jobs will be giving the keynote, and he will be talking about iCloud. What is it?
I didn't know they knew how to write press releases.
They have a press release. What? Before we do that, though, let me quickly mention Squarespace.com, the secret behind exceptional websites. We've been talking about Squarespace for some time. Our Twit blog is on it, inside.twit.tv. You know, we're doing a complete web redesign based on our Drupal platform, and the website guys, ImageX Media up in Vancouver, asked me, well, what about your blog? And I said, are you kidding? We are never taking it off Squarespace. This is the platform. Squarespace, if you're looking to set up a website, and not just a blog, any website, a photography website, a site for your business, you got to have a website. You cannot live with a Facebook page alone. Squarespace.com/twit. Check it out. Free for 2 weeks. You don't need a credit card or anything. You just go to squarespace.com/twit and fill out the simple form that just says, give me a name, a password, an email, and you're done. You're ready. For 2 weeks, you've got the full access to the Squarespace design tools, including their amazing social widgets. So, yes, you can incorporate your Facebook page or your Flickr page or your Twitter page easily right into that Squarespace site. And here's the deal. You don't have to know JavaScript or CSS. You just put the little widget in there. You do the sliders, the checkboxes, and you're getting a unique design that's going to look great with your site, even arbitrary RSS feeds so that you can put anything you want in there. Squarespace.com/twit. Take a look at the example sites. You'll get some idea of what people are doing with the amazing Squarespace platform, including the pro photographers, the artists, the nonprofits, businesses of all kind who use Squarespace to create their websites. Squarespace is hosting plus software. You never have to update the software. It's always up to date, so security is not an issue. I love that. You'll never run out of bandwidth because Squarespace has an amazing virtual server technology that just keeps the sites going and going and going. And it starts at $12 a month for hosting and software. The new Squarespace 6 just about to come out, so you're going to want to check that out too. Squarespace.com/twit. Just click that Try It Free button. Set up your new Squarespace site. Do what Alex Lindsay does. You know, Alex went to a restaurant that didn't have a website. He created a Squarespace site for them and just said, here's the password. It's yours. Use it. You should have a website. Squarespace.com/twit. So Apple, iCloud, with lots of rumors, Apple apparently has made a deal with all 4 music labels. So is it a music service?
What would that look like in your mind? Is it straight streaming? Is it like Amazon's?
Well, there's 2 guys out there now, Amazon's cloud service and Google's music service. Both Amazon and Google allow you to upload all your music to their service and then stream it. Now, Amazon has a limit of 20 gigs for free if you buy an Amazon song, 5 gigs if you don't. Google has a 20,000 song limit right now. It's free, but it's in beta. I don't know if they're going to charge later. So it's a streaming service, but you have to, I mean, it took me days to upload 6,000 songs, but now on all my phones, I can listen to my music. Big deal.
Days.
It did. It took 2 or 3 days.
How much music do you need on your phone?
Well, this is 7,000 songs, but it's not on the phone. That's the beauty. I can listen to everything in my collection.
Yeah, well, okay.
But I also have Mog. If you have Rhapsody, Mog, RDO, any of these services, you have 8 million songs you can stream. So I'm not sure what the advantage there is. Google does not sell music. Amazon does. Amazon decided not to license this service. They're in trouble with the music industry. Sony says they're going to sue. Apple made the deal, so Apple's got to offer something. Do you think Apple will offer this magical thing where you push a button and everything is just instantly on the cloud?
Well, that's the question. I mean, one of the problems I don't think anybody's solved yet is all the stuff I've bought is in all those different places.
That's ugly.
Can somebody please consolidate this?
Well, I think it's in Apple's
passively?
interest to do something that makes you want to only buy from iTunes. They've got to be threatened by Amazon at this point.
Okay, so here's one rumor that I think is interesting that sort of goes back to this and also has a consumer play for Apple. This whole Mac Rumors has it that this is all going to be driven off of the time capsule wireless router hard drive.
I pray that's not true.
And so that you basically sync to that hard drive and all of your licensed stuff is somehow held to that.
It's kind of mirrored from there.
Yeah. And that wirelessly syncs within your home.
It would sell more Apple hardware.
Right. Well, that's what I always go back to Steve Jobs saying there's got to be a go-to-market strategy for any service.
I disagree because
a hardware component.
No, I think Apple's happy if you're buying music from iTunes, don't you?
I don't think that's enough of their business to make it such a fundamental. I mean, this may help sell more hardware, but I think he's always looking for a direct hardware play.
It's a non-starter.
Yeah, I agree with Becky.
It's a non-starter then. Who is going to buy a time capsule just to use iCloud? Nobody.
I don't know. I have hundreds of dollars of music I can't frickin' find.
Hundreds of dollars? Holy crap. That's 10 or 20 albums. Holy crap.
Most of those downloaded free from Napster. That's why it's worth so little.
It's so bad. I never stole music, and I have hundreds, maybe 200s. But so my point is that it would be so nice to consolidate all of that and have it done wirelessly that I would shell out $50 or $60 for a router hard drive combo that did all of that syncing from my iTunes account.
Well, time capsules.
$60. Good luck.
Well, I don't know how much it costs, but anyways,
hundreds of dollars.
It's hundreds of dollars, John. But I'm kind of digressing. But that's like one of those solutions that I think would be the added value that would make me go, "Oh, thank you, Lord."
That you'd have to buy the time. I don't know. I think that rumor is wrong.
Okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
$299 for a time capsule.
So what? $299 sounds about right. So what is the deal with music from Google?
What do you mean? What is the deal? So how does it work?
Somebody explain why I would want this service. I mean,
because now that I've uploaded everything to Google, now on my Android phone or my Google tablet, it doesn't work on iOS yet. I can stream any song that I own. Presumably, I own stuff that maybe isn't on Mog or Rhapsody or RDO or Spotify or one of those radio services. But I have access to my collection, my personal collection, without putting it on the phone. So the amount of storage on the phone is irrelevant. It's not a great. I mean, I don't know what the play is. It makes sense for me for Amazon because Amazon encouraged that way. You buy a record like when Lady Gaga was 99 cents.
Yeah, that's a huge
I pushed the button. The download was slow. I didn't care because it's stored in my locker, right? So it's available to me anyway. And so that makes sense from an Amazon point of view. They're selling more records. It's a kind of an added benefit. First of all, I think iCloud is more than music. It's going to be mobile me. It's going to be reinvented mobile me. But so it's going to be mail. It's going to be picture storage. It might have some real advantages, and I think this is where Apple's big advantage is if it ties into the iOS and becomes now storage for the iPad as well as your desktop. Because that's a big problem with the iPad is you don't. Where's my stuff? So if suddenly everything that's on your iPad is duplicated on your iCloud, is visible on your desktop, it looks like there's a rumor that if you look in the code, or I think it was actually a leak in iTunes, that there is going to be over-the-air app updates on iPhone and iOS 5. Yeah, maybe iCloud kind of ties into kind of this whole idea of no more connection to your computer. It just kind of all is there. That makes sense to me. I don't see a compelling music service from Apple. I can't think of what Apple could do that would make me go, wow, I got to get this.
Well, maybe it's just catch-up.
Yeah, I mean, everybody else is doing it.
And I also, a while back, I said that as soon as Amazon opened the door, Google and Apple would be smart to just pile on and get it all out done once, because then all those music companies are going to have to go after all of these big players.
But look at something like Dropbox. Apple's got to be looking at Dropbox, which is very popular. It's used a lot by apps on iPhone and iPad because it's a way of getting data out of the iPad kind of automatically. You can put it on the Dropbox, and it's visible on your desktop as well. Dropbox is a great service. It's pretty expensive. It's more than Mobile Me. It's over $120 for 50 gigs.
Yeah, but it's free up to 2, which for the
up to
average,
2.
But for the average Joe, that's not as...
Well, 2's not going to last very long. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of things that I think would make iCloud compelling. One is a Dropbox-style service that lets me kind of sync all my data across all my platforms. 2 would be...
I'm taking notes in case I have to do a story
2 would be, and I think
tomorrow.
this is more important than music, TVs and movies. What if I buy a movie on iTunes and now it's available to all my devices streamed from my iCloud?
That's what I want. That I want.
And I never have to download it.
Give me that.
And doesn't Hollywood want that?
That would make sense, though, because there's a trend right now, and you see it with, I don't know if it's Comcast or one of these cable companies. They show this ad where you can stop
Xfinity,
in one room, you can stop your DVR, and then you can go to your bedroom and start it up from there on that screen. The idea of the mobile, of being able to move around the content from here to there,
well, it's the Kindle
is a very common thought right now. So what you described makes a lot of sense that would actually happen.
Buy once, watch anywhere.
Right. And that's what we want.
Listen, yeah.
I mean, all we want is to be able to watch our stuff. You know, where's the pain point right now? If you buy a DVD, you've got to illegally rip it and put it on your iPod or iPhone. But I already have the DVD. I mean, it's just a pain
Maybe
point.
this is Apple just finally saying, okay, we're going to stop presuming everyone's a criminal. And I use
well,
criminal
it's not
loosely.
Apple you got to convince. It's the movie industry.
Fair enough. But they have maybe the leverage now to make these deals and say, okay, let's just presume everyone is doing it legally because it is easier. So we are going to give people the ability to share this across their multiple devices because we know that every family these days is a multi-device family.
Right. And we want our data there, too. Now, I don't know if people will trust their data, but, I mean, they trust Dropbox. I guess they trust Apple more than anybody else.
Well, I don't know about that, but they definitely trust, Amazon, and they trust, I think we've seen from the phone data logs that people don't trust them that much. That was certainly a black eye.
But, most people.
Yeah.
Most people. I mean, Apple, of all the brands out there, Apple has a lot of goodwill going for it. It'd be interesting to see. What are you waving at?
Nothing. I just saw myself.
Hey, it's first time on TV.
On the TV.
You're like my kids.
I just saw myself on the TV. Yeah, and so now you realize you're wearing a big, bright, yellow striped shirt.
Safe.
He's a referee for this show. All right, I want to talk about the bubble. It's back, baby, in just a bit. Before we do, though, audible.com. I don't know what to say except that I love Audible. I think everybody should have Audible subscriptions. If you're not an Audible user, why the heck not? I'm going on a trip to L.A. What is the first thing I do before I pack my bag? I download my books so I can listen. Now, the nice thing, I have an Android phone, or if you have an iPhone, is that Audible app there. You have your whole library available to you. So cool. So, if you can see what you got on your library, and if you can listen to it. This is kind of iCloud for books, really. This is my Android. I can go to my library and see all the books I've ever bought, ever, on Audible.com. I could scroll through them all, and if there's a book I want to re-listen to, I could just start listening to it right away. There's Sleep, which is very cool. I love Audible. So I downloaded the Temporal Void and the last book of the Void trilogy, because I know I'm gonna probably get through that. You just kind of never run out of great things to listen to. There's over 500 books now in my Audible library. I've been a subscriber since 2000. I want you to give it a try. Now, here's how you get 2 books absolutely free. You just go to audible.com/twit2. That's a special URL just for you. And you can pick 2 books from all of their great books. Do you listen to Audible books, Becky, ever? You travel a lot. I would be shocked if you didn't.
I'm really busy playing Plants vs. Zombies.
Oh, you really?
No, I mean, I'm on to tofu now.
This is really about using your brain instead of just letting it vegetate.
I wanted to listen to Bossy Pants by Tina Fey.
Yeah, she reads it.
And I heard it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And so that's one that I have really put on the list of I want to listen to.
See, the problem is, you're busy, I'm busy, we got kids, we got lots to do, we've got jobs, so it's hard to find the time to read, and yet reading to me is something that really feeds my soul.
And when you were commuting into Tech TV, you lived and died off these books
yeah,
because
I had to.
You were in the car so much
2
of the
hours,
time.
at least 2 hours a day.
And I mean, so many people these days are commuting and it's actually a great buffer. It's a way to wind down and be ready to walk in the door and handle the kids, the family.
Sometimes I just stay in the car.
Yeah. I know that
It makes your
trick.
car a great place to live. So that would be a good pick. There, you get 2 books at audible.com/twit2. Bossy Pants would be good. Rob Lowe's got a new tell-all.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of want to listen to this. If you really want to go trashy, you could do that.
Hello.
Go trashy.
What do you think you're talking to?
Yeah.
Tina Fey is upscale for me.
Yeah. But see, sometimes you want to get intellectual, so they've got history. At least the new David McCullough just came out about Paris and all the American expats who went to Paris and the whole cultural scene there. Yeah, you really sound interested in that.
Oh, yeah. Shucks, I'm going to wear my caffeinated French pants when I'm listening to that.
Yeah, it's called The Greater Journey, Americans in Paris. So I like to listen to a lot of history. I know John does. John's into Civil War history. In fact, John was going to write a book about the Civil War. Did you know that?
I did not.
So he's a very literate person. You might like this. Sun Tzu at Gettysburg, Ancient Military Wisdom in the Modern World. Boy, that's uplifting listening.
Sun Tzu.
Oh, God.
What if Robert E. Lee had listened to Sun Tzu before he attacked the Union lines in Pickett's Charge? What if?
I'll stay up all night.
Yeah.
You know what's
thinking about
interesting
that one.
about that kind of juxtaposition? I think this is the latest thing going on where you just do wild stuff, which reminds me of the upcoming movie, Aliens versus Cowboys. I mean, who doesn't want to go watch this
I
movie?
love that premise. I can't wait to see that movie.
Oh, yeah.
The idea is this guy was abducted by aliens in the cowboy era, but nobody knew about aliens, right? So he thought the anal probe was just a good time. Is that John? Is that basically it?
Yeah, something like that. And he comes back with a weapon.
Ooh.
So he's got some high-tech weapon that he can use to shoot at the aliens. It just looks like a great film.
Wow.
I'm sure, like all these other films, what we saw in the trailers,
the trailer's
that's
always
pretty much it.
Yeah.
Do you like Eric von Daniken? I'm sure that your friend Adam Curry believes in the chariots of the gods. They've got the full Van Daniken series. This is just comedic, but I enjoy it. He believes that the ancient gods, the Mayan gods and everything, were actually aliens.
Oh.
Yeah, chariots of the gods. That's fun. There's great sci-fi, too. I tell you, audible.com/twit2. I'm not going to tell you what to listen to. Go there, pick 2 books, and they're yours for free. Once you go to audible.com/twit2, you'll sign up for the Platinum account. That's 2 books a month. Your first book is free. If you're watching Game of Thrones and you haven't read the book, you really ought to do that. And you can get, in fact, I think all 5 of the Song of Ice and Fire books are on there. Are there 4 or 5? I think he's writing the 5th now. And Roy Dotrice, who reads these, oh my God, these are great. Highly recommended. If you like that HBO series, get the book. Audible.com/twit2. 2 great books are waiting for you for free right now. Snag 'em.
Thanks, Audible.
So Groupon, I think this is great stuff. Let's talk about gossip. Talk about trash. Groupon's issued the S1 for their IPO. John, you're our financial wizard, so we'll let you.
Do I look like a financial wizard to you?
Strangely, yes.
Yeah. Well, okay.
It's the crazy
if I had a
hair.
bow tie, it would help.
Yeah, he's kind of the Jim Cramer of tech.
Go on.
So Groupon is, many say, the fastest growing company in the history of mankind.
I would like to say that I am going to be so wrong, because one of my predictions at the end of last year was that Groupon would live to rue the day they turned down $5 billion from Google.
$6 billion. I don't know if they turned it down or Google had a cold feet, though. Was it that Groupon said no?
I always thought I've had the number wrong, so don't trust me, but I thought they had.
If they get the price that they're asking on the stock market, their valuation will be $20 billion. But here's the thing. They've never made penny one.
And I don't see what's proprietary about what they do.
That's the other problem. They have 7,000 employees. Half of them are local salespeople. So for those who don't know, I guess there's people who don't know, Groupon is a online catalog service, right? Basically?
It's a deal site.
It's a deal site. You go and you get these.
Not catalog, coupon, I meant.
Yeah, sorry.
Coupons. A coupon, kind of a coupon deal of the day.
It's group
which
buying.
are all done by guys on the street. I mean, there's no technology.
It was supposed to be group buying, but what is it really group buying? I mean,
well, it's like, is the deal live? If enough people got in on
is that
the
how
deal,
it works? You have to have the deal go live.
Yeah, then the deal.
That's what they use the technology for. That's their angle.
But in order for this to work, you've got to have local salespeople everywhere, right? Because you got to go everywhere and convince. Oh, I'm logged in. Okay, let's go see my deal of the week here in the beautiful Sonoma County area. This is the kind of deal you get. Red Beacon, $25. I only pay $25 for $50 worth of yard work.
Wow.
Now, I better hurry up because there's only 2 days left, and already 50 people have bought it. I see. So the deal wasn't on until 25 people bought it. See, the deal's always on.
It seems that way now.
Yeah, because there's so many people.
It depends on if you're in a smaller area.
That doesn't ring your chime. How about this? Admission for two to the GLBT History Museum, usually $10, now just $5.
I didn't even know there was such a museum.
Okay, wait a minute. No, you want more? How about $20 worth of Salvadoran cuisine for just $10?
Now, those kind of deals do well. Like the Gap did a big one, as I recall.
Do you go for these, though? I mean, really? Am I just too rich that I don't have to think about this?
I've done stories about a lot of people who do this, and what does well, especially with Living Social, which is their competitor, is fun stuff.
See,
Kayaking trip.
I'm just not going to run out and go get Salvadoran cuisine south of Berkeley because I can get it $10 off.
But people will.
The gas is more than that.
But fair enough. But if you knew that you were going to shop at the Gap and they're giving you a straight 50% off kind of deal, you give us $10, we'll give you $20 gift card for the Gap. That's a good deal.
Look, I can get $150 worth of Hoot Judkins furniture for just $60.
The point is, there are jillions of these services now. Probably the biggest competitor is Facebook.
Yeah,
Facebook
deals
is serious.
Yeah, but you know who's got a real good angle on this, and somebody in the chat room pointed it out, is Google Offers.
So you got Living Social, you got Facebook, you got Google. There's a lot of competition.
You may have mentioned the biggest tipping point for Groupon, though, is that they have the men on the street, the people on the street. That if they've got the infrastructure to sell the deals, but the thing is this is not necessarily like the Fuller Brush man going door to door to businesses. You could set this up.
Right.
You know,
well, but
easily.
there is a barrier to entry because you do need local salespeople. I mean, this company's gone in 3 years from 0 to 7,000 employees. Here's the kind of there's a lot of red flags. I'm not an investor. I don't invest in tech stocks. I don't allow myself to for editorial reasons, and I would lose my shirt if I did because I.
That's the real reason.
Clearly have no clue what I'm talking about. But there are a lot of red flags. For instance, what about this? In the recent funding rounds, because this is all in the S1, right? Groupon raised $1 billion across its Series F and Series G funding rounds. Of that, 86% was paid out to Groupon's directors, officers, and stockholders. They took, of the billion, $946 million off the table.
Ponzi scheme.
They took it. They took it. They kept $151 million, to run the company. Boy, I'd love to be in this ball. How do you get in this deal? How do you do that?
I don't know. We don't have.
You're on your way, Leo, with the whole operation.
They lost something like $300 million last year. They lost $110 million last quarter. They're not profitable. They've never been profitable, and they have a huge run rate.
Well, this could be interesting because, in terms of maybe my projection is not as far off as I thought. Is they're only looking to raise $1 billion, right?
Right.
And if their valuation is 20,
the billion's only going to last them a couple of years
at this rate. So, but I mean, I'm wondering if they're freaking out and doing it just to get the money out now. LinkedIn had a popular and successful IPO.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe now's the time. People are mentioning the bubble word all the time.
This feels like the bubble.
If we don't do it now, we're not going to make any money. Is what they could be thinking.
But here's the problem: if the stock market says, "Wait a minute, this is not a good deal," they could couldn't this really hurt them?
Ha ha! My projection could
Let's
come
ask
true.
Our financial guy. Oh, I'm sorry, he's tucking in his pants.
Hey, I'll tell you something. The LinkedIn thing kind of triggered a bunch of these deals. Everyone's gone a little crazy until LinkedIn collapses. I mean, let's face the way
I think LinkedIn's got a vital business, don't they?
Yeah, it alerts you as to when someone's going to quit.
It's a $2 business.
That?
It's not a stock that's going to be selling for $80 with the price earnings that's over the moon.
How about this? How about Zynga?
Oh yeah,
Wouldn't you buy stock in Zynga? Now they're coining money.
Yeah, they sell it the next day.
Well,
I don't know.
I think Zynga's got something going.
Zynga just screams out Second Life to me. It just feels like that.
Apparently, Zynga, according to Bloomberg, is in talks with Goldman Sachs. There's a name that will live in infamy. To lead its initial public offering and provide a credit line of more than $1 billion to help make acquisitions.
But Zynga's numbers are down.
Really?
Their overall numbers are down. What I recall was that their Farmville numbers were down, and they weren't. That they weren't growing at the same rates.
Zynga has 242 million active users every month on Facebook. That's more than a third of the Facebook population.
I have serious doubts about their total active user base.
Do you think that number is a misrepresentation?
Also, I think people phase out of these games. I mean,
it's hard to. I quit. Let me tell you, when I quit Rerule, which is kind of like Farmville on the iPad, people got really mad at me, including family members, because I was no longer, helping them, tending their farms. There is this social burden. As Farmville's much worse.
Get a life.
That's what I did. I said, get a life.
It's not a real farm. Hello, people.
John, these are emotions you're unfamiliar with. Just quiet down back there.
It's a word called community, John.
How about this? Does this make me look more...
Oh, no!
Just like Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, I think he's going for the scream. But okay.
Okay, Macaulay Culkin, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Zynga's valued at $8.2 billion on SharesPost, which is private stock sales. That would make it number 2 in games after Activision Blizzard Electronic Arts is third at $8 billion.
I wish I could come up with these numbers, but when I was doing the Gaga, Gaga had created a farm. Yeah, Gagaville. When I was doing that, I was researching Zynga, and I saw that their overall numbers had taken a dip, and I thought,
that's interesting.
Okay, here we go.
That's interesting.
I don't mean to be harsh, but I don't trust Mark Pincus as far as you could throw him.
That's the CEO of Zynga.
He's had some questionable comments in the past, and
who? I missed who?
Mark Pincus. Zynga's CEO. And
where Zynga is?
Yeah, it's in our old Tech TV building.
The old Tech TV building. So what could be wrong with them?
I mean, come on. They're just fated to be so successful.
Nice people. They'll do as well as we do.
It's cursed, that building.
I tell you.
So you want to get irate. France has banned Facebook and Twitter from news shows.
If you're wearing a burqa.
No.
What does that mean?
Okay, get this. Apparently in 1992, there was a decree by the French government forbidding the promotion of commercial enterprises on news programs. That seems reasonable. Objective journalism, you shouldn't be promoting commercial enterprise and so forth. However, they're using this to decree, this is the Conseil Supérieur de l'Audiovisuel, CSI. They're using this to tell, how CNN, they'll say, follow us on Twitter at the Rick Sanchez or whatever it is. They cannot do that now in France. The government says you may not do that. Or you can't say our Facebook page. You can't promote that on the newscast. Christine Kelly from the CSA said, why give preference to Facebook, which is worth billions of dollars when there are many other social networks that are struggling for recognition? This would be a distortion of competition. If we allow Facebook and Twitter to be set, I think they call it le Twitter, to be cited on air, it is opening a Pandora's box. Other social networks will complain to us saying, why not us? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
This is why, actually, I love France, but talk about a nanny government.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. John, are you writing a book? What are you doing there?
You can't hear that. I had the mic turned off.
I can see you. It looks like you're doing something in your lap, and I'm giving you the charitable.
Hey there, people.
I'm doing the charitable guess that it's typing.
So, hey, by the way, just a little aside here.
Yeah.
I promised my editor at Market Watch that I would help him.
Yes.
He has really interesting, poignant, especially for people who invest or care about the stocks. He has poignant tweets. He needs to be followed, dcalloway.com or at dcalloway. Like, call away.
Wait a minute. You're saying this guy said to you?
No. I
when
said
you're
to
on
him,
the next time you're on Twit, would you please tell everybody to follow me on Twitter?
No, I said, your numbers stink. I'm going to get you some more numbers. I didn't tell him how. And
he only has 1,218 followers.
It's terrible.
And you say this guy is worth following.
Well, yeah, he's the editor of Market Watch. I mean, why aren't people following him?
And what is Market Watch again?
That
was good. I like that.
Online tip sheet, basically.
Yeah, and you write for them, right? You do a lot of writing for them.
I got nothing else to do.
I like them. No, I read that. I read your columns in there. All right, I'll tell you what, John, right now, just for you, watch this. Press that button. Follow. I am now following him.
You just
you follow him, then everyone will follow him because you're the man.
Mm-hmm. Stock starting.
Because you have actual numbers, real numbers.
I crossed 300,000 the other day.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know, but you don't have. But those are real numbers. Those aren't the phony baloney numbers that some of these people have.
Yeah, that 10 million people who follow Lady Gaga. Those aren't real people.
John gets all up in arms about fake followers. It's his big crusade.
There was for a while, because a couple of years
After
ago,
Windows 8.
remember that Twitter did that suggested users list. So there was some inflation, but I think now there's no inflation. I mean,
some inflation?
Well, Lady Gaga, I think genuinely.
No, Lady Gaga, I don't care about. She's going to get big.
She deserves her 10 million followers. In fact, that hardly seems like enough.
No, she needs
more.
She should have more.
She's making $100 million this year.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Now, Justin Bieber having 10 million followers, okay, I'll give him that. But really, Kim Kardashian? No, I'm sorry.
I know.
I just, I can't buy that.
So, I want John C. Dvorak's opinion.
Yes.
This guy has my MacBook. Did you follow this, John?
Did you see this story?
Oh, yeah, the MacBook guy?
Yeah, what was your initial
I had a lot
thought?
of mixed feelings about it. At first, I thought it was a hoax.
That's a lot of people thought
On
that.
March 21st, this guy writes on his Tumblr, this guy has mymacbook.com as a website. My MacBook was stolen in Oakland. I reported the crime to the police, even told them where it was, but they couldn't help me due to lack of resources. That's true, right?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. That's where I stop. Now, I found out that this problem, although I've never been able to get a hold of this guy, even though he says you can get a hold of me if you're with the media, I couldn't get a hold of him.
Worley's talked to him. Worley knows him. Worley's best friends with him now.
Oh, yeah, we're BFFs. But I just
Okay, here's my problem.
Okay.
In Oakland, if you go to a BART station in Oakland, there's a red zone where buses come in and says bus stop. In fact, some of them aren't even red, just says bus stop.
Right.
If you drive in there and stop to pick somebody up into that zone, it's actually like
instantly.
a speed trap.
Hey, homie, that's BART police. You remember what they did? I'm just saying, BART police ain't Oakland police, okay?
I'm telling you, there are Oakland is a BART police that set the parking meters to end at 8 at night. Oakland has got time to give people tickets
There
for
are
driving
20
funny or for parking in weird places. They have resources. The fact of the matter is they'll take your money if you've got a parking ticket because that's a revenue stream. But to help some poor guy get his laptop back, forget it. We got no resources. So in other words, the taxpayers are paying for the police to not do their job. It's ridiculous that they would say that to this guy. It's an outrage that the police can't, especially when it's handed over in a silver platter.
I
It's
agree with you.
Unbelievable.
I agree with you. There are 2,400 property crimes, thefts in Oakland every month. There are 3 officers on the property crimes division.
They don't care. They don't care
Wait
about
a
their
minute.
own citizens.
That's not that bad. You said 2,400 a month?
A month.
So that's only 80 a day. There's 3 officers. They could investigate these. That's not terrible.
So
They
this
don't
guy
care. The Oakland police do not care about their own citizens.
So we
They'd
should go
rather
back
give
and
he got his, but they did it. But once he created and got all the publicity, he got his.
then they rushed to the rescue.
Yeah.
Okay, but so the thing that I thought was interesting about the hoax, and so many people thought this. So he has this
You
app.
thought it was a hoax.
He has this app called Hidden on his MacBook.
These are well-known apps. They
Right.
take pictures of the perpetrator.
Gadget
Yeah, they
track,
kept plugging
etc.
like it was a.
Yeah.
Oh, do you think this is an ad?
So a lot of people thought
Yeah.
this was a viral marketing ploy because he started publishing
Oh.
pictures of
I
the
did.
guy who supposedly had the MacBook
He
Pro.
does have a link to Hidden right there on the front. And you know, there is a certain similarity to the
Yeah, it looks
sites.
the same, doesn't it?
Whoa.
And I thought, no way. And I honestly believe they are not tied.
Right.
And I did the work, and I have
Okay, but
done
wait
the
a minute.
gumshoeing. But
Now, wait a minute. Let's ask the audience because, so if you scroll down, this is what kind of makes me think it's suspicious. This is the guy, supposedly, this is the guy who stole his MacBook. Let's just scroll down a little
you
bit.
could not have a creepier.
What the hell? And what kind of couch is that?
And why is the MacBook on while he's sleeping?
No, my theory is he was like watching YouTube.
There's a good picture.
He's in his bed with no shirt on.
What kind of bed is that?
And you
Let's
cannot
hope
see
that's
his
cropped.
hands.
This guy, this is a nice bed. This guy's got some money. He's not got a good haircut, but he's got
No.
some.
And as many people in the comment threads also noted, it seems that he has a tooth abscess. But that's beyond the point.
Oh my God. Okay, that's not good.
Okay, so
Chewing
anyways,
tobacco.
so there's something going on in there. But so I was like,
He's like a cab driver, right?
so at this point, I call this guy has my MacBook, the one who's lost his MacBook,
Yeah.
and my producer calls the Oakland police. They go, oh, let's look and see if there was a case filed.
Hey, Good Morning America's on the line.
Sure enough, they find the case file, and the public information officer goes, uh-oh, we should have done this one.
Oh.
So
you're the one who got
Well,
it.
you're probably the one that triggered it.
I know, but the point was
When
like,
you call, just out of curiosity, when you call, you say, hi, this is Becky Worley from ABC's Good Morning America?
yeah, that deep too.
No, seriously, that's what you say.
And I sit up really straight,
Hey,
like,
hi.
hey,
This is Becky Worley. You might have heard of me. I'm on Good Morning America.
America,
Me and George Stephanopoulos wanted to know.
we're buds. No, but I tell you
Diane Sawyer asked me to ask
what,
you.
you people do call you back. But anyways,
Sure.
so
yeah, GMA, they call you back.
So anyways, within 3 hours, they had the guy in custody.
So it's your fault.
But but it was fascinating
I
how
love that.
many people.
Oh, we should have done something about that one.
She did.
It's a scandal.
It was. I mean, the location data he had an exact address. He knew the guy's employment. In fact, that's the way they caught the man who had the MacBook.
Yeah.
They called up the cab service he worked for, and he rolled up on OPD in a limo.
Oh.
They're like, yeah, get out of the stretch.
Oh, wow.
But it was interesting to me how many people, immediate first thought was that the whole campaign and the guy who supposedly lost his MacBook, people thought that it was a viral campaign for
Wow.
the app.
Now this guy's on Twitter. Do we know who he works for?
Yeah, he's the real deal. I
This
went
is
and
not a
talked to him.
joke.
No, I met him. He's a really nice, genuine seeming guy who's a human.
I'm following him on Twitter.
He's an HCI designer.
Joshua
for,
Kaufman.
Yeah, super nice guy. And he's very mild mannered. So it wasn't like some cowboy. And I met him in his office, and it was the real deal.
Oh, look, he says here, Good Morning America just called. I better make sure there's somebody. Oh, whatever, mind. This is good. He actually doesn't talk about all this.
But it made me really nervous until they said, yeah, we found the driver with the MacBook in his custody, that I was really concerned that we were geting punked.
Yeah.
But it's just that's kind of what it's come to.
He
these
has a
days.
link on his Twitter for the Google Analytics for his tumble log.
Yeah, that makes him nerdy, right?
Yeah, I like it. Traffic sources for this guy has my MacBook from Google Analytics. This guy, I like this guy. He's one of us.
He is, and I had to kind of get that.
So it's not a scam. It's not a hoax. It's real. You might think it was kind of as great viral marketing for Hidden.
Yeah, you got to be skeptical no matter.
Yeah, no, that's our job. But you did it. To your credit, they say nobody does reporting anymore. Becky Worley does reporting.
That's because I was worried that if I got it wrong, John C. Dvorak would come after me on No Agenda.
I would.
So let's see. Percentage of most of his hits were just direct. Somebody said the name of the URL.
Yeah.
Then Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Dig, Hacker News, San Francisco Chronicle, way down there.
Yeah, BBC. That's interesting.
Yahoo News.
It was one of the fastest viral sort of news points I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Well, it's a great story.
It was the same day that Intel did that Museum of Me. Did you see that?
Yes.
It was an app for Facebook.
Did I see it? I tweeted it. It was incredible.
What did you describe it for people? What did you think?
I can do it for them if they want.
It's basically an app for Facebook, right?
It's an Intel ad. It's not a Facebook ad. It's not exactly because it's on Intel, intel.com/museum of me. What you do is you go there and it connects to your Facebook account and it downloads all of your Facebook data. And then it makes a very heartwarming, you'd like this, John, very touching museum of yourself.
Do it with your fake self.
I should do it with John C. Dvorak. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? So
the one on the fake one on the
yeah. So the funny thing about this is that let me connect it to my Facebook page.
It's brilliant.
Is that it's the first ad I've ever seen. A lot of ads are targeted at you. This is the first ad I've ever seen that actually is you.
Yeah.
So it's gathering data now from my Facebook page.
All your photos.
It gets all the photos and stuff. There's actually some nice music in it. Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't seen this, John. This seems like this would be right up your alley. It's taken all of my images. We're going to go visit my museum. Would you like to?
I'd like to. Who are you, Leo? Can I see who you are?
Well, Intel seems to know.
Apparently.
Welcome to the Museum of Me.
You remember
Leo Laporte. Welcome to my exhibit.
And there's a white wall with his name, the Leo Laporte exhibition.
Yeah, if you're listening, you're missing this. Look, there's a picture of me. This exhibition is a journey of visualization. It explores who I am. Let's go around the corner and see.
It's in a virtual building.
Here's my friends.
It's in a virtual gallery.
These are actually...
There's Kate Patello.
There's Kate Patello. There's somebody looking at it with a ponytail man. These are people I actually know that I work with. On the wall.
It is an art exhibit.
Oh, and there's children singing, and there's pictures. There's my son. Oh, I remember him. There's my chin. There's a penguin.
Chin.
Look at that. Let's go around the corner. Over here, you could see where I am and where I've been.
Oh.
I'm in Petaluma. Now, you might find that a little creepy. Here's all the words I've used.
Mine was all happy birthday.
Brick. That's good. Ham. Facebook security.
Amazing sale.
Twit! Twit, 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 twit. But I have to say, there is something powerful, even though I know how they did this. There's something kind of powerful about going to a museum that's all about you.
It is such brilliant marketing.
If you're an egomaniac.
That's it. There's no better marketing
who isn't?
than narcissism.
These are all the videos that I've thumbsed up, that I've liked.
Apparently none.
Yeah, that's interesting. There was some video there before.
Huh.
Yeah, it looks like you got nothing but
It's like a Mondrian.
test patterns.
Yeah. But this is my favorite part. Intel has created a special robotic unit that will take all of the pictures from my Facebook page and assemble them into a montage that reflects the most important things in my life, the things I care most about. Those little robot arms are just working so hard, and in just a moment we'll see.
Can I ask a question here?
Yes.
Do these guys have anything better to do with their time than code this kind of crap?
No.
And now look, this is what I care about most.
Me.
Me. Thank you, Intel. Thank you. I love
That doesn't,
you.
That's Al Yankovic.
Okay, the thing I care about the most, Weird Al Yankovic. How did it know?
Oh.
And these are all my friends in the universe of connections of people. And
But have you noticed that Intel thinks of itself like a car company, that they brand
it's
themselves just
all
like
branding.
car companies?
Yeah.
And they're one of the only tech
They
companies
have to
that do that.
Because what are you going to look at the chip and say, oh, I like the design of that?
But what
So
am I
this is an
supposed to,
ad for i5.
Am I supposed to feel quality?
You're just supposed to like Intel. And now you're supposed to share it on Facebook.
But that's where this all came from. This was sharing slower than this guy has my MacBook.
Right.
And that is phenomenal. Like, that's kind of crazy.
I think some people, when I tweeted this, and while a number of people said, wow, that's pretty amazing, because it's kind of a neat technology demonstration, and it is, frankly, an ad that features me.
Right.
Which is, you got to love that.
And you and Intel are now connected.
And very much so. I mean, it's actually, I think, very savvy. However, a number of people felt this is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Is there a creepy factor to it?
I did have to give them permission.
They knew
That's
a
why I
lot.
thought it was a
I think
Facebook
it's
ad because I
totally
had to give them
creepy.
Facebook
Yes,
permission.
I knew you would.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I knew I would.
John C.
I
Dvorak,
think it's sweet.
he thinks everything's creepy. This guy is the anodyne to the sugar and sweetness that is TWiT.
The TWiT broadcast.
The TWiT broadcast.
We love John.
We love John C. Dvorak. Go to channeldvorak.com to find out more. And don't forget, No Agenda needs your help. Are you selling bricks yet, John? Because
No, we're not going to sell bricks because we're not derivative.
you're
So you
unique.
got the brick concession all to yourself.
Look at that. You could have a brick, John, right? You know, I'm probably going to end up giving you a brick.
I hope so.
Yeah, because you deserve it.
Why do you have two of the bricks?
No, this is what you get. So $128, you get this, and that goes on our wall, right? And then you can order for an additional fee. You can order a commemorative brick that goes to your home that you can use, on your desk or whatever. And if you want your logo, your business's logo, you could actually have that on the wall. We have these 8x8s that, for an additional fee, include a logo. Did I mention there was an additional fee for the logo?
It's fascinating.
Hey, John, I'm just copying you. You guys know how to monetize No Agenda. I've never seen anything like it. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Get some No Agenda dice.
Are you selling dice now?
Oh, we have a guy. No, I have people who sell the dice. We don't do it.
Oh, see, that's no fair because I hope you get a cut.
No, that we get a cut. People did, but we're open source, so people can use our logo. They can use whatever you want. We don't lock stuff down. And if they want to start a little business selling No Agenda dice and send us, whatever they feel is, part of a piece of the action,
They can do it.
We're all for it. And then we get the dice. We got all kinds of weird tchotchkes.
So you don't have advertisers. You just have subscribers and producers. And
no producers.
Yeah. You could be a knight, $50 a month. In 20 months, you could be a knight.
Yeah, we have knights. We have knight rings. They finally just came in from China.
It sounds like the
Everyone gets
Catholic
a ring.
Church. What's going on with this?
It's totally funny. I love it. I think it's brilliant. And by the way, you didn't invent that. We've been Creative Commons since day one. We're open source too. You can reuse our stuff and all of that.
I know, but nobody can take like the TWiT. They can't start selling TWiT memorabilia, for example.
No, they can't. No, we've trademarked
but
that.
in our case, they can. So we're totally open source. You cut it off.
Well,
You're a commercial operation. You got big advertisers.
Why would you let people make No Agenda T-shirts?
Because we don't want to.
You're absolutely right. See this? No money in it. No money in it at all.
John's whole business model is so that he doesn't have to manage one other human being.
Exactly.
That way he has time to call us on weekday mornings and gossip.
He's got the right idea. I can tell you that right now.
I'm just trying to do. I'm a writer, and I guess apparently
And
I
a
do.
mighty fine one. NoAgendaShow.com, but ChannelDvorak.com is the place to go. And don't forget to follow him, Twitter.com/TheRealDvorak.
Yes, please. I need to get. I'm just short of 80,000. I don't understand why I can't break that little.
The last time you were on, I thought we were going to put you
stuck.
over.
I'm stuck.
I think for everyone who follows you, to drop you or something.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. Because you were actually higher the last time you were on, I thought.
I don't know. A lot of it's spam. They get a lot of spam followers.
That's what I think. And then Twitter just kills them and you drop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Becky Worley's also B Worley on Twitter. Everybody should follow Ms. Worley.
I'm there for your following.
And are you on Good Morning America like every few days? How often?
I'm usually once a week. I'll be on Tuesday. I'll be at Internet Week talking to the folks for Yahoo.
What's Internet Week?
What's Internet Week?
It's kind of like a series of upfronts for internet providers. they talk to, upfronts for the TV folks is where they talk to the advertisers.
Right.
And internet,
We do an upfront for TWiT.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what for?
Internet Week is where you go.
It's in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the content providers and video providers, and Yahoo's making a big play. And so I'm doing more stuff for them. And
that's right. You do stuff for Yahoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is upfront for Yahoo.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of other internet providers there. So I'll be around.
And your website is BeckyWorley.com.
Yeah, but find me on Facebook. That's where I do all my most recent stuff, and Twitter. Becky Worley and B Worley on Twitter.
I'm the Leo Laporte.
I took your advice and I did that.
Because somebody else had Becky Worley, right?
Yeah, me.
Oh, I see. You have a personal page as Becky Worley.
Yes.
I get it. You're smart. That's what I did too. Yeah, I'm Leo Laporte on Facebook, but I'm the Leo Laporte is my public page.
Yeah, because that's the royal Leo Laporte.
Yeah,
when you put the "the" up there, you're suddenly in the third person.
I almost typed Becky Laporte. There's a little Freudian slip. Hey, now.
You know, baby.
I dream.
I want to drive the red
I'm wearing the
Mustang.
caffeinated pants.
Yes. So let's have a check-in. How do you feel? Just in case you've forgotten or joined us late, Leo was wearing caffeinated Spanx. They also fit me, so they must be quiet.
Wait a minute. You've already worn these?
Twice.
For how long? I thought they were a little clammy. I thought that was the shea butter.
I washed them. The shea butter and the caffeine stays in for 21 washes.
Oh, that's bullshit. Crumble.
Hey, that's what the French people said.
You can take the water from the washing machine and drink it.
You've already used up all the caffeine and shea butter in these.
21 washings worth. I just loosened it up.
What'd you do in these? Did you run?
I made television and I worked out.
It's too late now.
Now it's getting a little creepy.
Wish she told me that.
Leo's wearing my caffeinated pants.
I'm wearing Becky's underwear right now.
But we're friends like that.
We are friends. We've always been friends like that. It's just...
that doesn't creep me out.
No, because you're not wearing them.
True. I don't want them back.
Would you like them back? You can wear them now. I want to thank everybody for joining us. We do TWiT every Sunday afternoons, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. That would be 2200 UTC if you are in the European area. Our coverage of the Worldwide Developers Conference begins tomorrow, 9:45 a.m. Pacific Time, with Alex Lindsay, Aaron Hilligas, Tom Merritt. Stay tuned because MacBreak Weekly will follow that. And then on Tuesday, of course, we're going to be live from E3. I'll be down there with Brian Brushwood as last year. And then our newest gaming contributor, who's an old friend. He started writing gaming columns for our local paper here when he was 14. Glenn Rubenstein will be joining us. He's the guy who told me about MP3s way back when.
Huh?
Yeah, really great guy. So join us Tuesday for live coverage all day of the E3 Gaming Conference. I'm Leo Laporte. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to buy a brick, and I'll see you next time. Another TWiT is in the can.
In the meantime, I want to show you what I brought you.
All of us love our pets, but there is nothing fun about cleaning.
I brought you these.
Poor George Stephanopoulos. Oh, are these Spanx for boys?
Those are caffeinated pants.
There's caffeine in them? They're made in Italy. They can't be.
They're Litesse caffeinated pants.
So there's
caffeine and shea butter woven into the microfibers.
Well, I'm going to put these on.
I know. And it releases into your skin to speed your metabolism.
Really?
And
unfortunately, these are medium and small. They're going to be a little tight.
No, they're
Let me
very,
go in the other room.
Yeah,
now.
I want to. I mean, I just see now. They feel like. Come over by me. Yeah.
Hunter's moving very quickly.
Yeah. So let's see. If you stand right, where is that camera? Right?
I can't get in the shot.
Oh.
Okay.
There we go. There we go. There it is. Whoop 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 whoop. It's Thursday.
So am I?
How do they feel? Do you feel
I
invigorated?
don't feel caffeinated. Is this going to go through my skin?
Mm-hmm. So I think you should just wear them through the show.
All right.
And I think
They're kind of like skinny jeans.
Yeah. They're like man skinny jeans, caffeinated pants. And I just think that it might be kind of exciting for you during the show. You're looking pretty fit down there, buddy. You know, I see that. You see the hammies. The hammies are there. I've seen you naked. Come on. I was there when you streaked the Internet Tonight set.
This is TWiT. This week, I already did all that.
Yeah, you got it. I gave you enough. You have enough.
The editor's will just chop the other stuff out.
As a pro.
In Becky's pants. What? Oh, Alex is editing this? All right, maybe I'll do it right.
Sorry. It's my fault. I jumped on the audio.
This